Before the opening bell, U.S. indices closed relatively flat on Monday as traders look towards this week's upcoming G20 summit. Shares in household and personal products, telecommunication services, and material sectors, they all traded higher, while shares in transportation as well as consumer durables and apparel and energy, they were under pressure. This as 63% of S&P 500 constituents traded lower yesterday, now after the markets closed. Market access will replace L3 technologies in the S&P 500 index effective prior to the open of trade on July 1st, according to the S&P Dow Jones indices. Asia markets, meanwhile, on the downside. The Nikkei down 0.43%, the Hang Seng down 1.15%, China CSI 300 down 1.04%, South Korea's Kospi down 0.22%. European markets losing some ground, and U.S. futures call for a slightly negative start. Now, in terms of expectations today, Lennar, FedEx, and Micron Technology all due out, while on the economic dock at 8:55 in the morning we have the Red Book released, as well as 9 o'clock in the morning we have the April Housing Price Index and the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index as well. 10 o'clock in the morning sees May new home sales figures and the Richmond Fed Manufacturing Index, as well as the Conference Board's Consumer Confidence read. And then in the afternoon we have the Fed Chair Jerome Powell having himself a speech. Meanwhile, over in the markets, the S&P 500 is where we begin. That's under pressure. The Nasdaq, that sees an expectation of 76.45 while being in focus. The relative strength index bearish and calling for further downside. Short positions below 77.75 are favored, with targets at 76.86 and 76.45 in extension, while the Dow Jones, that sees consolidation.